Hello, my name is Caesar Gaten, and I will be doing my presentation on Lifi. This is the agenda for the presentation. I will first go over my references. What is Lifi? How it works, advantages and disadvantages. I will then compare Lifi to Wi-Fi, and then I will finish off with the future of Lifi. These are the references I use for the presentation: Wikipedia, TechWorld, NXWeb, LightTalk, and Purified. Now let's get started with the presentation. What is Li-Fi? Li-Fi stands for light fidelity. It's a bidirectional wireless communication technology that uses invisible light for communication as opposed to radio frequency. This new technology was developed by Professor Harold Haas at the University of Edinburgh. Harold Haas is also the co-founder of a company called Pure Li-Fi. How does Li-Fi work? Li-Fi works very similar to Wi-Fi. Both Li-Fi and Wi-Fi uses the electromagnetic spectrum to send data. Wi-Fi uses radio frequency, whereas Li-Fi uses visible light. We know computers read and send information in binary in the form of zeros and ones. Well, zeros and ones is just a representation in hardware of something that has voltage or something that does not have voltage. Dr. Haas noticed that this can be applied to lights as light has two states, on or off. Dr. Haas uses a photon to detect whether a light is on or off. Even though photon detectors can detect any light, Li-Fi works only with light emitted by an LED. Li-Fi uses an LED because it is a semiconductor light source that can be used to transmit data. The electricity being supplied to an LED can control the brightness. This allows the LED to be on and off so fast the human eye cannot detect it. Only with special equipment like a photon detector can the tiniest change in the light be detected. The, the photon detector then sends the information to a receiver, where that receiver changes the information to electrical signal and then the signal into binary. The following picture is a design of how Pure Wi-Fi plans on implementing their new device. In the picture we can see that every light in the house is going to be sending and receiving information. We also see that devices will be sending and receiving information. One of the requirements that in order for a person to be connected to the internet is that they have to be directly under the lights, and also when a device is sending information back to the internet, they have to shine light where the light is being transmitted. We will now talk about advantages and disadvantages of Li-Fi. One of the biggest advantages is its speed. Researchers have recorded the highest speed they can send is 4 gigabytes per second using a blue micro LED. Researchers also believe if they mix the RGB LEDs to make white light, they should be able to reach up to 10 gigabytes per second. Another advantage of Wi-Fi is its security. Uh, in, in order for someone to grab your information or see the information that's being transmitted by the light, they have to be directly under the lights. But this can also become a disadvantage because once you're out of reach of the light, you're no longer connected. This means if you're outside when it's dark, you will no longer be connected. I think this is where Wi-Fi has the advantage. Another disadvantage is that the light always must be on in order for you to be connected with the web. I will now compare Li-Fi to Wi-Fi. As I mentioned before, Li-Fi stands for light fidelity. And Wi-Fi stands for wireless frequency. Both transmit data using the electromagnetic spectrum. Wi-Fi uses radio frequency to send and receive data. Li-Fi uses LEDs to send in data embedded in visible light. Wi-Fi has interference problems. For example, if you live in a dense populated area and you and your neighbor are using a 2.4 GHz routers, then there might be occasions where your neighbor's Wi-Fi can reduce your Wi-Fi's performance and range. This can also happen vice versa. Other household electronics can also interfere with Wi-Fi, such as microwaves and Bluetooth devices. Wi-Fi doesn't have these interference problems. Wi-Fi can be used anywhere there's hotspots except hospitals and airlines. Wi-Fi, on the other hand, can be used in hospitals, airlines, and even underwater. Here, here are some more comparisons between Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi operates at three frequencies: 2.4, 4.9, and 5 GHz. Wi-Fi operates 10,000 times the frequency of the radio spectrum. Wi-Fi provides more security because it cannot pass through walls, and the average range Wi-Fi can reach is about 10 meters, whereas Wi-Fi can reach 32 meters. I will now talk about the future of Li-Fi. Many people believe that Li-Fi does have a future because of its impressive speed. Despite the disadvantage where you have to be directly under the lights, many people believe this isn't a problem because we now live in a world where there's light everywhere. In addition, people believe that Li-Fi can become the technology that connects the Internet of Things. I believe that as we move closer to the Internet of Things, Li-Fi will grow, but we may not have to wait that long. During my research, I found an interesting article saying that earlier this year, a hacker that was going through Apple's new iOS firmware found the line Li-Fi capability. Uh, Also in this article, I found that Apple owns a patent where they can send information back and forth using the 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 part of the phone that takes pictures, which this sounds kind of very similar to the way Li-Fi works. So I believe if Apple finds a way to overcome the disadvantage where you have to be directly under a light, then Li-Fi can replace Wi-Fi in the future. Well, that's it for my presentation, and thanks for your time.